Where am I going live at? What's going on?
Can you hear me?
Yes. All right, we are live on the Tabletop Titans channel, taking over from Hobby Sauce.
Hold on, let's see if I can find the tabletop titans.
I'm
More
gonna.
like saving Hobby Sauce's ass.
We can get a message over to. I don't know if there's a way to get a message to the audience other than the Facebook groups, but
Yeah, I'm gonna post it in the Facebook groups. All right, so make sure that no one's audio is coming out of anything but headsets. Cause I'm hearing myself right now. Oh wait, I got it. I got it.
test.
This is Brian. Test.
This is Matt. Test.
This is Brenton. Pizza is amazing.
Pizza.
Yeah, my mic issues were related to ops, so there shouldn't be an issue on Matt's side anymore.
Alrighty. Well, we can hear Matt.
It's almost like I have a $250 microphone I couldn't use because of that stupid program.
Evil things. All right. Well, we are. Are we wanting to start over on table 4, or do we want to just pick up where we left? Okay. Well, I don't remember where. I think we had Billy.
Yeah, I had the goblin list. I had Robbie's.
Okay.
And I had her.
Okay. So, Billy, if you want to go ahead and start at table 4 and start with Robbie King playing goblins.
All right. Yep. Got this is a fake goblin list. It's a lot of trolls. We got 7 hordes of trolls. One of them's got Brew of Haste. Got 2 war trombones, 3 flaggots, all of them mounted on flea bags. Got a wizard with drain life, 2 mincers, and 2 regular giants. And the bison chip is on one of the hordes of trolls.
Just one of them. All right, Matt, if you want to read off Mark's list for me.
Sure, Mark's got a horde of tribal warriors, 2 regiments of tribal longhorns. We got a Lycan horde. They have the Brew of Haste. We have 5 beast pack. Excuse me, I keep seeing that troop 5. 3 beast pack. 3 troops. 2 regiments of eagles. 2 hordes of stampede of brutox, and a walk-in shaman with heel and shroud of the saint and the banner of the griffin.
Do we know if that's the right list?
All right. Well, we'll start the. I guess we'll just start at the top then. Britton, what do you think? Since we didn't hear you yet.
So one, looking back through results for the year, it appears if you're not in Chris Kapsner, you will not podium with Herd. So that's one strike against them. Yeah, it's weird. We said this on the other cast that he doesn't have the formation. My guess is that he painted up the units and liked how the units were performing and didn't actually care about the vanguard, so kept the units and shaved a few points off not taking the formation and the character. I mean, it's a good little herd list. I just think it's gonna get taken by game one. Yeah, Robbie. There's a lot of power in this troll list. It's got just enough chaff, especially if you're sort of your mincers, your flags, your giants are kind of big, shaped chaff. Go down and mess everything, and then you use of regenerating crush.
Okay.
I like that one, the Brew of Haste, like that's the one that's stretched before the battle. Essentially, the Lynn and Roy of trolls there. It's just ready to run. But yeah, I'm giving it to Robbie.
Okay. Everybody loves Robbie. We'll see how sober he is. Even playing Mark. Billy, what you think?
Like I was saying on the last cast, if there was 2 or 3 less hordes of trolls, I'd feel a lot better about the herd list. But I gotta go with Robbie's list with all the trolls. I don't see enough being able to chew through all of them.
Okay, Matt.
Yeah, I'm kind of with it there. I don't dislike the herd list. It seems pretty average, to be honest. But the way that this is set, I mean, that's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hordes of trolls. They're so cheap. They definitely can smash. We got chaff. We've got war trombones to pick up any stragglers. 2 mincers is emergency chaff or extra smashers to kill something. I really, and giants to plug things up. I really like this goblin list. I wouldn't want to mess with this. I think Pat mentioned, I don't know if he mentioned on this cast, but he mentioned on the other cast, if Robbie didn't care, maybe the herd guy does and he wins. But if Robbie's trying, I can't imagine he loses with this.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and chime in just because Mark Bryson's one of my boys, been losing a ton of weight. And I'm going to totally say that he's going to beat Robbie because Robbie's going to get so pissed drunk and Mark is totally not going to be drinking. So Mark's going to totally whoop his ass, even with all these trolls. And I know how Robbie works, where the reason he takes all trolls is so that he doesn't have to do anything. So that he can drink as much as humanly possible and then somehow like find somebody in the hallway to play his army for him. So I'm projecting that somebody in the hallway will be playing his army before the end of round 1. All right. Moving on to table 5. We have Drew Richardson playing goblins and Ryan Smith playing Vissels. I will also toss out, sorry to backtrack, the Robbie King and Mark Bryson. That was a challenge, by the way. So that was another one of the reasons I think Robbie's going to get drunk. So, yes. Yeah. Michael, if you want us to go ahead and take Drew's list, and then
All right.
Patrick, if you want to take Ryan's list.
All right, so Drew has got goblins. We've got 1 regiment and 2 hordes of rabble. One of the hordes has the banner of the griffin. 2 hordes of fleabag chariots. 1 with the orcish skull pole. 1 with pathfinder. A mincer mob regiment. 2 trombones. A flaget with the diadem of dragonkind. We've got 2 whizzes. 1 with blood boil. 1 with inspiring and alchemist curse. 2 mincers. 2 colossal giants. A slasher. And Grogger split tooth. The Bison chip is going to be on the regiment of rabble.
All right.
It's pretty elite.
And I think he's got his Bison chip on the lower bristles. So, yeah, Patrick, you want to lead us right back into it?
They've got an item.
Okay. Yeah, totally. It's very possible. I had to harass him like nonstop about stuff. So. I don't even think he remembered there was a tournament going on.
And a slasher.
It's a regiment.
But
It's
wait,
a
there's
Mincer
more.
Mob regiment. Okay. Cool. Yeah.
Pat, I'm not sure what's going on again. We seem to be having some technical difficulties. I got both Devlin and Tim in chat saying that they can't hear you.
All right, can you hear me now?
We'll have to wait a bit for the feedback.
Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
We can cut
I think
cut to someone else while we're waiting.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
The important thing to remember is that it's good that we can't hear the best player here, because then we can just hear what he has to say, pass it off as our own insights,
It's true, yeah.
and just watch him get angrier and angrier in the little window.
Totally.
Yeah, I'll
chime in,
talk
Brent.
about stuff. Sure, yeah, why not? So this goblin list, I'm kind of reading it, and you scroll down, it's like, oh, yeah, there's not really a lot going on here, and then there's colossal giants and a slasher, and like it's a lot of dudes. It's a lot of dudes that don't matter, and a couple dudes that just won't go away and will stomp on stuff. And the Abyssal list has some of the really good units. But I think I said this on a previous one where Ryan brought, it feels a little bit like an old school Abyssal list with the Ifrit and the Cronius, and they're just not doing what they used to. The Heliquins are great, the Succubi are great, like it's all kind of the right units. It makes sense. I think they're actually pretty well matched. But I think, yeah, what does it have to deal with all the flying? What does the goblins have to deal with all that flying besides just war trombones, which
Bodies.
It's got.
Bodies.
There's a good bit of shooting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's decent shooting.
Shooting and some pretty good threat projection from those chariots.
blood boil and alchemist curse? So like you
Well,
and
Alchemist
you
Curse
shoot
isn't
'em
going to
and
do much. Yeah.
Well, we'll get to the Archfiend.
Yeah, well, yeah. Archfiend, yeah. I guess that's true.
Yeah,
I just realized. All right. I had myself muted again. There's some targets for the Alchemist Curse between Archfiend, Well of Souls, and the Cronius.
Cronius. And the
yeah.
Heliquins.
I think I'm Ryan's an awesome dude. He is a beautiful painter. He is a
Here it
stronger
comes.
player than some people give it. This is the sandwich, right? Where you're really close to him,
Here's the sandwich.
and then you slide in the middle of the shit. Like I think he's gonna win, but it'll be a great game, and it depends on scenario and whatever, all of
Yeah,
that. But like, no, it'll be a cool game. I would take either side of this. If you're just walking up to the table to have a fun game. Neither of them seems horribly outbalanced, but I think the goblins are stronger in this.
Okay.
Let me go.
Go for it, do it.
I'm a big proponent of boys before toys. I like drops over big nasty things. That goblin list beats his drops by 8, which is coincidentally how much unit strength it beats it by, which I think is kind of weird. But it is a pretty low goblin unit strength list. A goblin unit strength list. It's still got decent unit strength. I looked at most of your scenarios that you had in the pack. Most of them are scenario driven. I think the goblins have it like tenfold on that unless they can really start dropping. But the problem is the goblins have almost as much shooting as the Abyssals have, maybe more, and they're shooting at low defense. So I think it's going to be an uphill battle for Ryan. I'm going to go with the goblins.
Okay.
And Matt coming out with research, looking at scenarios.
Don't be looking at no scenarios. You can't be. Don't be doing none of that.
Right?
Wait. Was it really the scenarios in the pack? Because I totally did not read that thing.
They
I
were
didn't
like,
even know. I must have shared it by accident. I don't think I meant to even get that out there.
they had a
'Cause I
lot
didn't
of
want,
objective-driven stuff. That was
I
all.
totally didn't want to hear anybody complain about it earlier. So, Billy, what you think?
Well, every time I vote against Drew, he somehow figures out a way how to win. So
I know,
I'm
right?
gonna have to go with Drew. I've never played against Ryan and all that and that kind of stuff. So I mean, just every time I vote against Drew or say something bad against Drew or whatever, he somehow finds some way to throw it back in my face. So let's see if I can either mess up the tide or he can just keep it going. So I'm gonna vote for Drew.
He's gonna make you pay for it whether you vote for him or not. All right, Patrick, what did you have?
um,
What you got?
I'm going with Drew. Ryan is just too outnumbered.
Yep.
He is a sneaky good player. He's not just pretty. He's actually a pretty good general as well. But Drew's lists. I mean, if you take just the colossal giants, mincers, and mincer mob, and that's almost outdrops Ryan's list by just the amount of monsters and war machines he has, let alone everything else with it.
Okay.
Yeah, 8 drops is too many more. It's crazy.
And I did have Ryan chime in. He put the Bison chip on the succubi, so
The only other place it should
the only other place that it was good. Michael, what was your vote?
I cannot vote for the Well of Souls, so it's going to be Goblin List. I will say that looking at a Ryan Smith painted Well of Souls might be the most torturously bittersweet thing I will ever experience, because I hate that unit just more than anything that I can imagine.
Nice. So we have a landslide toward Drew in this case, and I'm gonna throw in some extra commentary because I'll be perfectly honest. The main reason I set this matchup was I wanted to see this the drunkest table at my tournament because Ryan is always wanting to drink. He can't find somebody to keep up with him, and Drew always loves to throw down that challenge. Drew loves to drink, and he'll take a pint glass and just full of tequila and put it down without even realizing it's going to affect him. So if Ryan can get him drunk enough quick enough, he'll take him. That's where we're going with this, Ryan. This is how you win. Just get Drew blitzed.
We need to make a new strategy video and put that as number one.
It's gonna be because it's too drunk. That's how it always goes. All right, table 6. We have Tyler Lytle or Little. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. He's playing Berenger, and Dan Kamek playing Abyssals. Tyler is a new player out of Oklahoma City. This will be his first tournament. So I'm just tossing that out there. He's been working really hardcore nonstop to get all his stuff painted in time for the tournament. He's been doing an amazing job and throwing things out there in the Oklahoma Kings of War page, just to throw out a nice shout out to all his work that he's been putting in. So, on that note, I've lost track of where we're at as far as who what. So I think Michael and Patrick, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'll take.
Tyler's. And then Patrick, you can take Dan's.
All right, so Mike, you got Tyler's.
All right, Tyler's running Varinger. We've got 2 hordes of Bloodsworn, one with the Banner of the Griffin, a regiment of Sons of Korgan. They're running with the Gift for Fury and Blessing of the Gods, a Horde of the Fallen with the Brew of Sharpness, a Horde of the Fallen with Pathfinder, a Devourer with the upgrade for Breath 10 and Vicious on ranged attacks, a Frost Giant with Blizzard, King on Chimera with Fury and Vicious. We've got 2 Skalds, one with the Loot of Insatiable Darkness and one with the Diadem of Dragonkind. And let's see.
Where's the Bison ship?
On the
Yeah, I
naked
didn't look at the
Bloodsworn
chip.
Horde.
The
Makes
Bloodsworn
sense.
Horde with that nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so one will have the chip, one will have the Banner of the Griffin.
He's playing against Dan Kamak, who has. This is one thing I actually hate about Easy Army. Two Immortal Guard regiments, both with mutated throwing mastiffs, both changing to two-handed weapons. One with Brew of Courage and one with Pipes of Terror. Two hordes of lesser obsidian golems. One with the crystal pendant.
Does the other one have the? Does the other one
Yes,
have
it
the other?
does. That is a
There
thing
we
of
go.
beauty. I was waiting
Good.
to see someone take both of them.
Yeah.
I did.
Oh, you did? I really wanted to. I just couldn't make it work points wise.
There's a few
That was the
people
first
that
thing
did.
I bought, Pat. I didn't even. That was going to happen. You can only do it once. You have one tournament. You can do it. Why would you not do it?
Well, maybe once a year.
Yeah. I will say that in the test games, I did have fun having 2 units of Corsairs blow up in people's faces. But anyway, so he also has a Dragonfire team, 2 Angor Heavy Mortars. Haven't seen a War Machine in Abyssal Dwarfs in a while. Overmaster with Wings of Honey Maze, the Supreme Ironcaster Ancient Winged Half-Breed, he bought him Surge, Blood Boil, and Amulet of the Fireheart. He also has Dravik Dalkin and an Infernarch. And he has 4 regiments of mutated throwing mastiffs who will be throwing themselves at the enemy. That is a lot of dwarf stuff.
Yo, dog, I heard you like dogs.
Well, which one are you going for?
Gotta think about this, because I think I have to go with Dan's list. There's just a lot of things that those Vranger are going to bounce off of, and when Vranger bounces, they tend to do pretty poorly, unless you're cave trolls.
Huh? Britain?
Yes, this is a weird Varangur list, right?
Yes.
It took me a hot minute to realize that those Sons of Korgan weren't mounted. I'm just so used to seeing
I just
mounted
realized
Sons of
that.
Korgan.
You just
Yeah,
told
literally,
me.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like looking at it and being like, okay, it's got the mounted Sons and the fallen. Oh, wait a minute, what 20? So, yeah, I think it's got some cool stuff in the Varangur list. I mean, that is like 2 hordes of Bloodsworn and a mounted Sons on foot. Is like a pretty beefy center, and then you have a lot of fallen going on. It's 2017, and then yeah, I mean it's got some cool tricks. It's got the King on Chimera. I just think this Abyssal Dwarf list has a whole lot of tricks up its sleeve. It's got double Crystal Pendant. So anything that was sort of unmaneuverable hordes or fallen are killing, the things that can kill it. Like the Varangur just don't have things to throw away into that. So yeah, I mean, it's going to depend if the mortars ever actually hit anything. But I think there's enough here with like Infernarch, with all of those Mastiff Hunting Pack chaff, some Obsidian Golems get themselves into a weird location and not care if they die because they'll take something with them. I think the Abyssal Dwarves have this, the sultry, dulcet tones of Dan Kamek might help.
Uh-huh.
I feel like if the heavy mortars never hit in the game, the Abyssal Dwarfs could still take this.
Yeah, it's sort of like he could just play 240 points down and not deploy them, and he has a shot. Like the army will still work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just don't think the Varangur have enough stuff putting a clock on this Abyssal Dwarf list that's going to force it into bad decisions. It's got so much chaff, so many kind of tricky things that without the really hard-hitting Varangur stuff, this is a slower list that I think it's going to be uphill battle for them. But I think the Varangur's got some cool stuff going on. So good luck in round 2.
Billy?
I'm gonna vote for the beginner's luck. Tyler's gonna take this one with this Varinger.
Nice.
That's a thing. That's the
It
thing.
is a thing. It totally is a thing. But we just got to make sure he doesn't just stare too hard at Dan's army. That beautiful piece. It's so
Did
pretty
you say
and bright.
Did you say Dan's army or Dan's arms?
But I mean, either one. I mean, we'll just make sure he wears some sleeves this time around.
It's not
So-
possible. We gave him a sleeved shirt for Masters, and they were off before he was playing.
No one
Don't
wants
tell
to. No one wants to
Like,
see Dan wear sleeves.
I don't even think he had scissors. I just think he like puts the shirt on, and some little like I don't know, Cinderella, Snow White, like forest helpers swing in and cut the sleeves off for him, and fly away.
that sounds very very plausible. Matt, what's your thoughts?
So, I feel for Tyler here. He reminds me very much of my first tournament at Lone Wolf. I brought a Varangur list. I thought I was being cheeky. I wasn't. I also see that like he kind of took a little bit of everything, which I think a lot of new players do. Props to the Devourer. I really liked the Devourer before. It's even better now that it's 1618. I would want to see two. I see Fallen with Sharpness and Caterpillar. I don't know if I see Fallen, I kind of want the formation, maybe some strength on there to give him Crushing 2. Walking Sons of Korgan, they're really cool. But I don't know how much more it costs to get them on horses, but it's not much.
It's only 30
It's probably
points.
it's probably about as much as he spent for Blessing of the Gods, which I would much prefer them Speed 8 than Elite. So there's a lot of things in here that just kind of strike to me as kind of a new player, not a bad player, just a new player on his list. I
Well,
think he's got a lot of tools. What?
In this specific matchup, those Walking Suns are just about as good as Mounted Suns because they're faster than the Dwarves at least.
That's
Yeah,
a
thought range
point.
things.
That's a point. He can't get in quick though. They're going to take some mortar fire. Something's going to take mortar fire, but
I'm guessing those monsters are going to take mortar fire. I mean, there's a
Yeah,
Frost
probably
Giant and a
so.
King on Chimera to draw some fire.
or Fallen. Maybe you're right on the
Those are all
Sons of
height
Korgan.
1, so the only things that he can see over his own lines will be those two monsters.
But I mean, it depends how he deploys them. You
Yeah.
only need a sliver on the Fallen because they're indirect. So
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Fallen are normally on the flank. So I mean, I don't know. I know my game at Lone Wolf, I lost Fallen to mortars. It was the most devastating thing I'd ever seen. But he got 2 hits with both of them, and my
Ooh.
Fallen horde just went turn 1. I hadn't even gone yet. Just boom, they're dead. That was the saddest thing ever. Anyway, just to counter what I was saying about Tyler, I think Dan's list looks more honed, much like his own gorgeous body. He's got
there's a
some
lot
tanky
of-
stuff. He's got some what?
There's a lot of talk about his body in this cast,
Oh,
and I'm
man.
okay with that.
This we're gonna have Dan and Tom Annis here. It's gonna be it's gonna be hot in my
Boys before
room.
toys.
I'm telling
as
you.
someone said earlier.
Dan's got a lot of chaff to stop it. I mean, I just can't. I can't see Dan's list losing here unless something like beginner luck will happen. So I'm gonna vote for Dan. I'm gonna give Tyler a little piece of advice: just leave Infernoc alone. Don't even try, unless you got nothing else to whack, because you don't have anything that can bust it once it starts healing.
good advice. And I think Michael. Yeah, Mike.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyler. Looking at the 2 lists, the Vanguard list has 15 unit strength. This Abyssal Dwarf list has 16 unit strength. 4 of it is speed 4. 4 of it is going to die to a Stiff Breeze, the mutated hunting pack.
That's
And
fair.
then another 7 of it is speed 5 shambling. And all of the unit strength in Tyler's list is very quick. I mean, this, as most Vanguard games are, is going to be really bloody. So I think coming down to that last few unit strength end game, Tyler has a much better chance to get on objectives and win a game.
I like it.
It's
So
not a
we're
bad
Good point.
3 to Dan and 2 to Tyler. I will say that I can see Tyler as he evolves, and especially since we're getting ready to come into third. who knows what the heck's going to be happening there. I know a lot of his choices were he's been again really heavy into the hobby side, and so he kind of focused in on that aspect first, and then I think as he plays and realizes and kind of works it out like everybody does, that he'll start tweaking things. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that game going. All right, table 7. Oh yeah, we've got Matt Young playing ogres as you do,
Woo!
and Mr. Patrick Zora Allen playing them salamanders as you do.
You want to
And-
read our own list, Pat?
Oh, you should totally read your own list, guys.
All right.
And
Cool.
this was a challenge, so you guys can beat the shit out of each other.
All right. Well, the challenger comes to the challenge, so you go first, Matt.
No, Patrick, you go first.
Oh god.
You're the one who challenged me,
Okay,
the former
fine.
master.
Wait.
All
Should you guys read each other's lists? I would like to hear some sarcastic renditions
Yeah, all right,
of each
I'll-
other's lists.
Okay, fine.
Nice.
I'll read Matt's
Cool.
list.
That sounds great. Yeah.
For some reason, he took red goblins, which is like one of the worst units. Like, if you're gonna take goblins and ogres, you obviously take the rabble. They're kind of just pointless otherwise. They'll sit back there and do nothing, while the rabble could have actually got in my way and annoyed me. He's gonna have siege breakers, which he'll think will be all nice and tanky, but my corsairs will actually open those guys up. And as soon as he goes through the corsairs, I have rhinosaurs right behind him who just love a slow defense 6.
Just giving away the whole battle plan.
Oh yeah.
I know, right? Just tell them how to not mess with that.
And in Matt Young fashion, I don't know if he knows how to play it any other way. He's gonna have the boomers right behind the siege breakers,
That's how I do.
and I have height 3 shooters and blizzard to take those guys out.
Sure.
He has 2 chariots, but for some reason he didn't decide to take the formation, so he doesn't have to rally to fall behind. So all his hordes are only going to be 15, 17, which is much easier to kill. He did do double crystal pendants, so he does make me think that I should try to shoot them first, but I'm not going to.
He's like, but I'm not gonna go do it.
And he's got 3 boomer sergeants and army standard bearer because ogres need some sort of crutch. They're such a shitty army otherwise.
This
He's
guy.
got a colossal giant, because that is one of the most OP things. Cock 19 is the end times when it comes to monsters. And he has
Why
got
not?
Namagrak for some nice healing orc actions, because the ogres were so bad they had to steal another bad army's special ability.
Nice.
The orcs cry in the distance.
I was
All this
looking
to
for a way
say-
to boot you out of this chat. All this ogre hate. I was like, how do I kick him? Damn Google. All right, Matt, can you come harder than that?
Let's see here. So Patrick thinks he's so goddamn good that he took the salamanders, which we all know is the shittiest army in Kings of War. He's got 2 regiments of ancients. I don't even know what the hell they do. I'll probably just murder them immediately. He's got 3 troops of corsairs. Now he's right; those are problems for siege breakers. But I have 70 breath weapons and something else too. So he's going to get 1 shot at me with his 12-inch range, and they will all delete. Just boom, gone. 80 breath weapons if you count the army standard bearer. We've got a ceremonial guard. A regiment of some sort. Seriously, I don't even know what the hell salamanders are. They're just dinosaurs that you murder. That's it. Get Kata Sky Raiders. That'll be cool. They will watch from a distance as they plink my guys. I will heal every wound they deal, and they will watch their entire army die in front of them. I will never kill them. I will let them live so that they can fly off and tell everyone to not fuck with ogres. We have Ancients on Rhinosaurs. They will charge gloriously. They will kill 1 unit of the Siege Breakers, and their friends, the other one, will murder them. We have a Clan Lord. I guess that's some hero or some shit. He'll die. Mage Priest, Blizzard. He'll think he's cool. That'll be mildly annoying, like a little thorn in my side. Battle Captain, same thing. He comes in, he hits, we murder back because not a single unit in the ogres can't kill a hero after it tries to fuck with it. And then, I didn't take any formations because I'm a good player and don't need to fall on crutches, but Pat decided he needed three formations. So, that's the only way you
do that.
that's the only way you can make salamanders good. So that makes sense,
So ogre players apparently can't count either. It's okay. For
Oh, there's three words down here. There's 3 words down here. One is monster. Okay, I got it. Okay. Abigail's cool. I'll let her live. Like El Guapo in the Three Amigos. He's like, I like these guys. These are funny guys. Just kill one of them. Abigail's cool. We'll leave her alone.
Yeah.
All right, so Matt, who do you think wins this one?
Matt's gonna die a horrible, slow death, and he's gonna blame his dice on it.
I don't ever blame my dice. That is a rule of Matt. I don't complain about dice unless my opponent complains for me.
Oh, so the first time I beat you with my salamanders was straight up?
I'm remembering. Hold up. But I feel like I was trying not to. So you got me. Maybe touche. I really try not to. How's that? Yeah. Anyway, I think I got this. How much defense do you have in here? You got a lot of 4s and 3s. I mean, I guess Pat's a good player. Some people think so, at least. So
he's all right. He does okay.
I think I could take him. That's why I challenged him. I'm not going to challenge some chump that's going to beat me. I'm going to challenge someone that's an easy pick. That's why I picked a former master. I mean, he's a former master. He's not current. Shit.
Good lord.
Like all good former celebrities, I go out on tour and visit the less fortunate.
My God. All right, Mike, for the love of God.
I don't even know what they're playing. Apparently, it's all terrible. I'm going to say that this is going to be a draw, and both of your dice are going to be terrible.
True. Billy, do you have anything more constructive?
I mean, salamanders are 3 formations. I mean, I'm gonna have to take the salamanders.
The bonus formation.
The bonus formation.
The extra formation that doesn't exist.
I will say, did we get an extra formation for the tournament or something? Because
You didn't know about that? It
Only
was
if
a
you're
bonus
playing
for the
Salamanders.
former masters.
I need the crutch after all,
Britton?
So on one hand, we have the former master, Pat Allen. On the other hand, we have the former host of this stream.
Nice.
Oh my god.
So I mean, the ogre list, like, you've got cool stuff. You've got 3 boomer sergeants and a colossal giant, so that seems awesome. But for one,
Double
salamanders
pendant,
are not the worst in the game. From major GTs, it's actually Brotherhood. Brotherhood are actually worse than them right now.
Got them on the paint bench right now.
Yeah, they're doing marginally better. So all of you hipsters that had been making your salamander list, you have to switch to Brotherhood or Rordia. Those are now the most underpowered armies.
So I'll give it 2 months before Mike switches away from Brotherhood because too many people switch to it.
Yep.
It's fair.
So we got third edition in 6 weeks. So Brotherhood players, hurry up, or you will be the worst army of Clash of Kings 2019. But in reality, I don't know. I think this is going to be a really cool match. But I think Pat takes it. I think that third formation with piercing 4, breath attack 12, piercing 4. Is going to be doing cool stuff. I mean, they're both really strong lists. I know they're kind of joking about everything in each list being absolute garbage, but I'll give it to Pat.
I'll go
No,
ahead and chime
I
in.
mean, like, no hard feelings. He's just better than you, Matt.
That's fair. That's fair. No, in all honesty, this essential matchup happened. Pat came over to my house a couple of months ago now, almost a year ago now, is
A
it?
year ago now.
Yeah, he bought my truck, and we played, and I figured I should let him win since I got a good deal on the truck. So he beat me with almost this exact list. So,
Nice. I'll chime in because I played this Pat list or something very close to it, and I will say that I was super in love seeing another ogre player playing the double booms on the chariots, but I know how much shooting and consistent shooting that horrible salamander list can put down, and I don't think they're going to get in, which is going to make me super sad. And that's to me that's the biggest bummer here because
So
frankly, go ahead.
I want Matt to track what amazing stuff those chariots blow up in the rest of the tournament. Like, I want like a fucking notches on the side of an airplane hit list of what those things ran into and blew up for unprepared opponents.
in every practice game, I've run with them thus far, they get in, they get like triple charged. I force it. It's amazing. I roll snakes or 3.
Good lord. Sounds about
Every
right.
single game so far.
That sounds like you're complaining about dice.
Oh, no.
Oh.
What I meant to say is that they haven't done much, but hopefully, I believe in them. I believe in them. The psychological damage is all that matters.
All right. I'm going to have to keep a close eye on that one. We'll move on to table 8, which is another challenge. We've got Matt Carmack playing his Empire of Dust, the Devil, and Nick Michelonis playing Undead, the is the current champion. Is that where we're at? And yeah, I think that's me and Britton. So Britton, if you want to take Nick's list, and I'll go ahead and take Matt Carmack's list.
Can I make a request that Brennan takes Matt's list? 'Cause
Sure.
He's going to get a kick out of all the names.
Oh, okay. I'll take Nick's list then. I don't mind at all. Britton, if you want to go first, man.
Yeah, sure. I was just bringing up the other one, so I'm switching over, but it should just take a moment because I had it right in front of me and now it's hiding. So you think I'll get a kick out of like all his names?
Yeah, I remember you liking... Matt has named and has backstory on every single unit.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
so I think I've given myself a reputation as a like player that likes lore and like theme, and that's all just an excuse to hide my bad play. If you're a hobby gamer, you can get away with being a bad player, and people will still talk to you. So that's what I'm going for. Okay, so Matt's list. We have 3 regiments of chariots and 2 hordes of chariots, each with fancy names, including the Frozen Axles and the Chill Warriors. We have Revenant Worm Riders with the Brew of Sharpness, which he's made work in other lists. Matt has done really well with this sort of unconventional all chariots, Revenant Worm Riders, nasty stuff this year. And this follows that same pattern. He has the Broken Soul Snare. He has the Less Broken Bone Giant. He has 1, 2, 3 Pharaohs on chariots. 1 with the Skull Pole, which is just great value for money. 1 with Blizzard, which gives them some nice height 3 Blizzard to Blizzard Wizard other hiding wizards. And he has a Papist Champion of Death, which has shown up in a whole lot of Empire of Dust lists through the year and is really strong.
Yeah, I have played that list. It is the devil. So I've got Nick's list here, playing Undead. He has 1, 2, 3, 4 troops of ghouls and a horde of ghouls with the Crystal Pendant of Retribution. Soul Reaver Infantry, he's got 2 regiments. A horde of zombie trolls with the Whip of Celerity. He has 2 regiments of Soul Reaver Cav, one with the Dwarven Ale and one with the Potion of Caterpillar. Lich King, that he has given Heal 6 and Shroud of the Saint. He's got Lady Iona, and Morgoth's Retinue and Alona's Thirstful Coven, both formations. And he put his Bison ship on the Horde of Ghouls, I believe. Yep, that's why he's got the Crystal Pendant. So the Crystal Pendant is actually the Bison ship. And that's why this is sitting at 2,300. Very different list than what I typically see from Nick. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. So Britton, what do you think? Oh, he's muted.
He was trying to fix his feedback.
Okay. I gotcha.
How do I sound now? Am I okay?
Much better.
Yeah.
Cool. So, both of these players are on huge rolls. Both of these players have been doing amazing this year. So it's from sort of looking at the meta as a whole. It's hard to pick. It's hard to bet against Nick. He's been on such a huge roll. This is a different army for him, and I don't have any secret knowledge about how good he is with that versus the really strong rat list. So I'm going to take another minute to think about this and let someone else make the decision for me, and I'll just jump on the back of whatever their commentary is.
Sweet. That means Billy, you get to chime in next.
Well, I kind of think the zombie trolls are interesting. I haven't seen people play the zombie trolls, so that'll be interesting to see. Otherwise, Lady Iona, she's a bitch. I'm gonna have to go with the undead.
Okay. So with Nick. Matt, what you thinking?
This is a fun matchup. I really want to see how this goes in the end. This is also called stalling. So Matt has a lot of shooting. It's a lot. I've seen him play. It's a lot of shooting that ends up taking pot shots. So it's not anything to be terribly scared about because they're threatening, attacking at the same time. But Nick has like defense 3 and defense 6. It's so weird. So like half of his stuff isn't going to care, and the other half of his stuff will get plinked off. But it's chaff. That's what it's there for. I think they're both decent players. Nick obviously has a better tournament record than Matt does. I like both of them a lot. I'm gonna go with Nick, but that's just a gut check. I think Matt could take this just as easy. You know what? I change it back. I mean, I'm kind of like on the fence, and one of them like literally has my name. So Matt, I'm with you, buddy. Match unite.
Mike, what you think?
Man, I hate both of these lists. And these are both just great guys. Everything I'm reading is just disgusting. I hate the Soul Snare so much. I hate Epaphras. I hate Soul Reaver Cavalry. But most of all, I hate Lady Iona. Nick might just not lose this weekend because he's running Lady Iona. He's running that formation plus other things. So, I mean, he's probably going to be fine. And the other things include 2 regiments of Soul Reaver Cavalry.
I was going to say,
it's disgusting.
The fact that there's 2 regiments of Soul Reaver Cavalry is not the most disgusting thing in the list. Is telling you something.
Yeah. Yeah, like if I had the choice between facing Lady Iona or 2 regiments of Soul Reaver Cavalry, I would take the Soul Reaver Cavalry every day. Both at the same time, I would just go get a drink. Nick can take his 20, and I would just go take an early lunch.
So there's generally like 2 reactions I have to good lists, and by good I mean like powerful. One is like, oh, this looks really interesting, and I want to just put it out on the table right away and play it. And the other is kind of like Michael, like I don't ever want to see this across from me. And both of these lists fall into the latter category.
True.
So looking at Nick's list, it's like Soul Reaver Infantry and Soul Reaver Cavalry. The knock against them is always like you need a good delivery method to get them in because they are so expensive and such buzzsaws that you need something to sort of shepherd them in, and then they'll do their work and they're fine. And this list has 4 troops of ghouls and weirdly like a throwaway ghoul horde to do that. So I think like I really like the Empire Dust list. It's got some great stuff in it and some broken stuff in it, but I like this one more. I like the undead more.
Okay.
Don't discount those ghouls. I mean, they're not just getting in the way. They do all have Thunderous as well and hit on 4s in melee.
Mike
Yeah,
knows
they're
not
great.
to discount ghouls.
Ghouls have thunders?
In a formation, they do.
He's got that formation.
Ah.
Yeah, I mean, if Mantic had more than like 2 poses, I would have painted this formation by now.
I really wish he had a crystal pendant on that's on something else and Pathfinder on that ghoul horde. Because that ghoul horde is kind of neutered when without Pathfinder. I've Nick's list is very similar to how I run undead.
Yeah, it is.
And it's a good list, but I don't like the zombie trolls in it. They get left behind and become a little bit irrelevant.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I like zombie trolls, but you're right. In this list, they're not great.
The Lich King with heal 9 is gonna be really good, but with on foot, he's probably only going to be healing the Soul Reaver infantry unless he deploys really well. That being said, if I was playing Nick's list, which again is a list very similar to how I would play, I played Nick's list against Matt's list, and Matt's list is a pretty hard counter to it, actually. All those ghouls are going to die or be wavered first turn, and if they're wavered, they'll die next turn, or be not doing their job anymore. And there's always the thing where if you're shooting your ghouls, you're not shooting the other units. But with heal 9, you're not going to shoot defense 5 and defense 6 anyway. So you shoot the ghouls, clear them up. And then also, those chariots are just actually really hard to kill. Like a Soul Reaver Cav regiment has a 70% chance to kill him in one shot. And that sounds good, but when it's 30% chance to get held up on a unit a third of your cost, that's actually not a good idea. And Matt just has a lot of tricks that he can do. He has more drops. His chaff is heavier than Nick's chaff. So I'm going with Matt. If Nick was playing his Rats list, which he has not lost a tournament game this year yet, I think he would have it. But this Undead list does not want to see Matt's list, and I speak from experience.
They have the same number of drops.
The ghouls are like half a drop.
You just don't want people to you want people to just perpetually underestimate ghouls.
Just let it happen.
Pat gave me, so we had a local tournament and I didn't feel like bringing an army. Pat was like, "Oh, you can play my undead." For some reason I was picturing like a bunch of zombies or something and a necromancer. He handed me a list very similar to Nick's list, and I was just apologizing the entire tournament to people for playing it because I just felt filthy. I may have literally gone home and taken a shower afterwards.
Mike, what was your vote?
Oh, Nick, yeah.
It was Nick. All right, so we have 3 Nick and 2 for Matt, so that should be pretty close. It is. I will agree with what Britton said there. It's 2 lists that you don't want to see either one. I played Matt's list.
There you go, Brenton.
I was just ready to freaking just call it a day and go home. And Nick, well, it's Nick, so you're just walking up to the table and getting your shit kicked in most of the time. So it's gonna be great. All right, table 9. We are This one's just a regular matchup. We've got Chris Christensen, Chris Christian, and playing Twilight Kin, and we've got Dylan Murray playing the Herd. And I believe Billy, if you want to go ahead and take Chris, and Matt, you've got Dylan.
Cool. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
All right, so I got Chris. He's playing Twilightkin. Got 2 hordes of Crossomen. One of them's got the Wine of the Elvenkind, and the other's got Blessing of the Gods. 3 regiments of Reaper Guard. 1 regiment of Dark Knights. Regiment of Darkside Chariots. 2 Black Dragons. And 2 Dark Avengers, both mounted on Pegasus. One of them's got the crystalline pennant. I'm guessing that's the Bison ship, with it being 2300. And then a regular High Priestess with nothing on it.
Cool. I got Dylan. I got to play Dylan round 4 at Shiloh this year. He was pretty fun to play. He wasn't playing Herd, though. So, Herd, we got Tribal Chariots. Looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets, 1 regiment, 4 hordes. He's got the Brew of Keenineness on the regiment, so it shoots better. Then he's got Pathfinder, Haste, and the Crystal Pendant of Retribution on 3. And he's at 2300, so that Crystal Pendant must be the Bison Pendant.
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So he's got 1 horde naked. He has 3 chimeras with the bonuses, because that's how you take it with fly and all that good stuff. Whatever. I don't know. Shaman. He's got 2. 1 mounted and with Blizzard. The other one is just naked. And then he's got the Avatar of the Father with fly and speed 10, because why not? There we go. That's the whole list.
All right. I will toss out that Chris. I'm sure most of you haven't heard of him. He is from the mountain region. He's in the Oklahoma City area. Again, this will be his first tournament. He loves to kick out big armies. He's pretty good at painting up large amount of stuff very quickly. He does play a lot more than actually most of us. He hasn't had a whole lot of different people that he's played, but he plays weekly, which is really good to see. He's been a great addition to our team. Just tossing that out there since I'm sure you guys haven't heard of him. Matt, you want to go ahead and toss your opinion out there?
Sure. So we've got a lot of interesting lists. 1 second. We got man, you're sure. Patrick, you threw me off, man.
You want to see both lists again?
Yeah, let me see the kin. I have Dylan's up right here looking at it. I'm just trying to look them side by side.
I just wanted to
there
show everyone your pretty face.
Well, you can show my pretty face. Just show his kin list. All right, so we've got a lot of speed in both lists. I think Dylan barely beats in speed, but I mean it's a close match. He's got speed 9 and 10 across the board, whereas those 6 and 7s, don't discount them. I definitely did in one game, and that was the last time I ever did it. They're both pretty fast. Dylan's got just a lot of shooting. It's all range 5, like 5 up stuff, but how many shots is that? That's 40, 16, 32, 72 plus 9, 81 shots that are coming in. Man, that's interesting.
It's pretty much the Herd version of Matt Carmack's list.
Or it reminds me a lot of that's what I was going to say. Yeah, Brad McKay. This looks a lot like Brad McKay's list.
It's like a budget. It's like a budget version of that list where everyone shoots worse and the chimeras don't have lightning.
I completely agree with you. I mean, entirely. I'm really intrigued by Dylan's list. I didn't think Herd could do that. So I think if he plays it well, and I've played Dylan, he was definitely my hardest match that day. And I was zonked, too, when I played him. And it was a close match. I'm going to go with Dylan. I just think it's a cool list. I like it. It's more that I like his list. I think they both have good things going for him. But I'm going to go with Dylan. I'll start off with Dylan.
Okay. Billy?
Yeah, I gotta go with Dylan. There's just a lot of speed in that army, and I'm not a big fan of Twilight and shooting. Yeah, make fun of me, whatever. But
That's funny
Yeah.
coming from you. Okay, Brenton.
So, yeah, I think this herd list is like we were sort of saying. It's the budget version of. It's like the alpha version of the Twilight King multi-dragon chariot shooting. I think it's worse. Like the the it's cheaper, but like I think 5-up shooting and non vaulting flyers limits a lot of the sort of really deadly shooting that you would run into with the Twilightkin version. It's also missing gargoyles. It's just like it doesn't seem as good. But the good news is I think it can still beat this Twilightkin. So I think this herd list will run into trouble later rounds. I think some really highly optimized strong lists that others have shown up with can beat this, but I think it's got enough to just overpower the Twilightkin list it's up against. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it's still 4 big scary flyers plus a whole lot of dual use units. I mean, it's an unfriendly list. I just don't think it's this optimized. So.
Okay, Pat.
It doesn't make me vomit in my mouth as much as Godzilla.
That's true. It doesn't. I just didn't even think Herd could do that. I mean, I agree with Britain. It's not as good as, and it. I mean, it's not a whole. Well, I guess it's some cheaper, but man, I didn't even think Herd could do that. It's kind of cool.
On the herd side, it's the dragons that are cheaper. The chariots are about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so weird that the chariots are the same there because they are. I mean, range 5 instead of. I guess melee is better.
Their melee
They're
is 3.
faster and they're melee
Yeah.
3.
Yeah. Okay.
Their speed 9 versus pre-nerf speed 8.
Yeah.
They're fighty. They're slightly fighty. They're like better fighty, worse shooty versus the Twilightkin of like better shooty, slightly worse fighty.
Mm.
I wouldn't even call them slightly fighty. 18 attacks on 3s, Thunder 2 is pretty good.
That's fighting.
At
Yeah,
speed
that's
9.
just sorry. That's just fighty. They're just
And don't forget, for those that don't know Herd, I mean, they have Pathfinder naturally, so it's
they
not
do
listed.
not.
The chariots don't.
Oh, they don't?
Nope. That's why
One of those
most people
boards do,
don't.
but they don't in general.
That's why most
Isn't
people
that
don't
their?
take their
Isn't that
chariots.
their like army special rule is Pathfinder?
Yeah, they're an exception.
Okay, so it's just
Them
like
and
a big
them and
middle
the-
finger from Mantic, huh?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
I think I'm gonna go with the kin. Yeah, there's a lot of shots in the herd list, as far as pure numbers, and hitting on 5-up after playing Matt's on chariot spam list, I definitely have a appreciation for. But I mean, there's a lot of shot in his kin list. I mean, there's 40 bow shots and then 10 lightning bolt shots, and then another 10. The high priestess is without anything. It's really weird to me. Like, not even an inspiring talisman. But I think I'm gonna go with Chris Christensen because also, I mean, he was so nice they named him twice.
Yeah, my bad. Mike.
Yeah, I take the kin list too. I think that this herd list is interesting. It looks similar to Brad's, but just it's so much less efficient in the shooting, and it's faster and it's more potent in melee. I think shooting is really kind of plan B for this list. And I think in just a brawl, I think that the kin list wins. And the shooting from the crossbows is going to be really nice in this matchup too. 2 hordes and then 2 dragons to kind of keep stuff from engaging on those hordes really quickly.
And also Pegasus.
Pegasus, yeah, the Pegasi, the Pegasi as well.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good matchup. All right. Well, it looks like we're fairly even split. We've got 3 toward Dylan and 2 to Chris, so looks like that'll be a good one to keep an eye on. And then we're getting into our last table tonight, which is going to be table 10. We've got Justin Anderson playing Orcs, and Devlin Smith playing his Empire Dust.
Before we get too far into that one,
Oh, yeah.
there's 6 of us, right? So does somebody not vote on that last one?
Well, yeah, that would be me. I don't know.
Oh, are you not voting? Okay.
No. I'm trying to stay fairly. I only like to chime in whenever somebody going crazy on me. So I would. Otherwise, I would just vote for Chris because he's Oklahoma City. Of course, he's gonna win. Wait,
He,
that's the way
he
it goes.
likes to tell us when someone's a new player, so we're not really mean to them.
Oh, I'm gonna make that announcement. I'll be like, look, guys, look. Don't get crazy. I don't know. These new guys, they come out swinging. Surprisingly, like Drew's hit the scene running, and actually this one here in table 10, Justin Anderson, another fairly new player. He's new to the OKC area. His first tournament was Lone Wolf, so this will be his second tournament. But he went first couple rounds in Lone Wolf, and then I think he bumped into either Pat or Mike pretty quickly, and then got swatted down. But he was doing really well there. He played some at Lone Wolf. He was playing some Twilight again at the time, so he's a good player. So anyway, so Justin Anderson playing Orcs and Devlin Smith playing his Empire Dust as he does. So I think that'll be Mike and Pat. So Mike, if you want to take Justin.
Yeah, I'll take Justin's. He's got Orcs. Go Orcs. He's got 2 hordes of Axe, one with the Dwarven Ale, one with the Pipes of Terror. He has 2 regiments of Great Axe. One has the Crystal Pendant. Let's see. Yeah, that looks like that's the Bison chip. 2 hordes of Trolls. One has the Staying Stone and one has the Brew of Courage. A Crudger on foot with Drain Life. 2 Crudgers on Ancient Wing Slashers. Both have the sneaky attacks. One has the Chant of Hate and one has the Blessing of the Gods. We've got a God Speaker with Heal and the Shroud of the Saint. 2 War Drums. And then the formation of Gakamak's Stubborn Savages, which is, I believe, the Foot Crudger, the Great Axe Regiments, and a Horde of Axe.
What does it give him?
I think that's right. And it gives them Headstrong.
That's not bad.
I don't think the Horde of Axe are part of the formation.
It's 1 Horde of Axe, 2 regiments of Great Axe, a Crudger, and they all get Headstrong.
That's not bad.
So then Dwarven Ale and the other Axe Horde. So all those Foot Orcs have Headstrong.
Nice. Do they still keep the thing where the Crudger had to be on foot?
I don't think so. Because I know it used to have that, but I don't think it does anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't mention that in the Easy Army listing. So I don't actually think he has to be on foot anymore.
It's interesting. A Foot Crudger would drain life.
I didn't even know Crudgers could take Drain Life. I guess it's because they get that like zappy thing.
Zappy lightning bolt.
Yeah, yep.
I know for me, it's just a lack of cool mounted orc models. So at times I've wanted to put orc characters on foot just because there's so many better models.
Same with wizards, really.
Mm-hmm.
There are a lot better foot models for wizards and orcs.
There's so many cool wizard models.
Mounted wizards, there's like, unless they're humans from the old Empire range, it's like every range has amazing unmounted wizards that you don't want to take. So,
Yeah.
Small aside.
On a side note, his army, I've been watching him put this together and paint it up. His is going to be primarily a resin printed army. He's having somebody 3D print all his models for him, so it's got a very kind of old school orky feel to it.
Nice.
So it'll be pretty unique. It's kind of cool. I like it. He's been working pretty hard on it.
Interesting.
Yep. Don't see too many of those as of yet. Pat, do you want to hit up Devlin's?
Yes. So Devlin is playing his Empire of Dust. He's got a Horde of Revenants or Brew of Strength. He's got a unit of mummies. One of them has the Bison chip. He has Enslaved Guardian Archers, a regiment with Keen Eye, which I really like. He's got 2 regiments of Swarm, Soul Snare, 2 Bone Giants, the Pharaoh Chariot with Blizzard and Blessing of the Gods. A Cursed High Priest with Heal and Shroud of the Saint. Has Mortibus the Necromancer. He has the Restless Souls of Ra, which are the pirate skeletons that can shoot and fight just as well. And the Mummy's Revenge formation, but you should have seen that coming with 2 mummies and a Cursed Priest.
Well, yeah, it's like an auto thing.
Devlin's used to playing this list. He's played it forever. He's really good with it. And he's picked up some more tips from Dustin, and it looks like Carmack a little bit, but he might have just come up with that on his own. So, I mean, this Empire of Dust list is pretty solid, and you're not going to be able to get around it very easily for those wing slashers. I think I'm going to have to go with Devlin.
Okay. Mike, what you thinking?
Well, I want to vote for the orcs. I always do.
Just do it.
And Justin's awesome. We played at Lone Wolf, and that was a really fun game.
Oh, you were the wall that he hit.
He doesn't have any skulks. I don't like that. I like his list in general. You need skulks. You need skulks, and with that much infantry, you need Grumtongue, definitely.
What does he do?
He has a 6-inch bubble of infantry get +1 speed when they charge.
+1 speed or +1 inch?
+1 speed.
Nice.
Let me double check. I'm pretty sure +1 speed. I'm running him in my army, so I should probably just know that. But
Like, no, I mean, you just make
We're
up the
about
rules
to
as
find
you
out
go.
if Michael Piercy's been cheating for the last time.
I mean, that's what happened.
Dude, that happened to me once. It wasn't as big a deal as that, but I thought one of my little pot shots had piercing. It was a 5-point magic item, but I didn't realize it until game 6. I felt so bad.
I was about to say, if it's +1 inch and not +1 speed, don't tell Brad. He wasn't too happy that when I played him last. But it is in fact +1 speed when declaring friendly non-allied infantry units within 6 inches gain +1 speed when declaring a charge.
He's got to read it out loud.
So just make sure everybody's clear. No, but yeah, with this much infantry, I definitely think that Grumtongue should be in here. And again, I think that Skulks are just one of the best units in the game.
Skulks are really good.
I think that Devlin's list has a lot of 1s in brackets, so it's probably pretty good. It has the Soul Snare.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I have to vote for Devlin's list. Devlin is also awesome, and I also hate his list.
All right, Matt. Thought?
Really quick,
Yeah.
have we been keeping track of how many lists Mike hates?
So I think Devlin's got enough thick skin that he knows I like him. And if I vote against him, he doesn't care. And if you do, I guess I'll buy you a beer later, Devlin. I mean, you'd be a fun guy to get a beer with. I'm going to mix this between beginner's luck and Brian's recommendation that this guy did well. I like this orc list. I agree that a skulk would be nice, or 3, at least 2. But overall, and there's some points you could clear up. I don't know. Do you take 2 war drums, Michael? I normally run 1 when I run.
Yeah, I always run 2.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just trying to look for extra points. That's it.
And especially now, they buff each other as well.
Yeah, that's fair. Anyway, I like the orc list. It's not. I mean, I agree with Mike. It's not perfect, but it's good. It's not bad in any sense. And I just think there should be more green in the world. So
I agree to that. I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on in 3rd edition for that hot mess.
yeah. So I'm gonna vote for orcs.
Like it. Billy, what you got?
It hurts me not to see the 3rd Ancient Wing treasure. Makes me hurt not to see that. I mean, that's all I've been seeing for like the last month here in Omaha. So, but I mean, I like the EOD list. So I think I'm gonna go with Devlin. That mummy formation just really good.
Stupid good. It is. Britton, what you thinking?
Yeah, so what's crazy is out of all the Empire of Dust lists that have podiumed this year, only one has the mummy formation. So as much as we talk about how broken it is, it hasn't actually been showing up at the top, which is interesting. Some of that's just what the players have taken. Soul Snare has appeared in more than the mummy formation because it actually is broken and not just sounds broken.
When
That
you
being
start
said,
tripling the range,
that being said,
My goodness, that stupid soul snare.
the orc list is fine. It's good. It's got the 2 of the crutches instead of 3 of the crutches. With the ancient wing slasher, it's got a god speaker that will be buffed by the trolls probably and the axe, so it will be healing pretty well. It'll be healing in the 6-7 range most of the game. But I don't know. I gotta give it to Devlin on this. His list is just sort of like wandering down the aisle and picking all the best stuff out of the list and throwing it together. And sometimes that just works. Would love to see Apophis in here somewhere, but I think almost all lists get better Apophis than them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Devlin can take it. Again, I am disappointed that he didn't name his units, especially after he named on the battlefield. I critically need to know the spelling of Chiquita Bonanno. And the fact that it's not on here hurts my soul a little. But yeah, I think Devlin, it's just so like the orc list doesn't, I mean, it has the wing slashers, like don't get me wrong, but it lacks a certain amount of subtlety. And I know people are probably raging at me being like, they're orcs, they're not fucking subtle. But it's missing skulks, it's missing some stuff that can kind of break up the battle line and cause some confusion. And that means he just has these giant unit frontages that can get punched by a much trickier Empire of Dust list. And I think that's what's going to happen. So I'm going Devlin.
Okay. All right. 4 to Devlin, 1 for Chris. I will go ahead and chime on this one since it's got one of my OKC boys. I got to go with Chris on this. Or, excuse me, I got to go with Justin on this because he did really well at Lone Wolf. And I know Devlin. I played Devlin, and his dice will betray him. That's all there is to it. He will rage out. He will give up on life, and his dice will. He can bring a podium list, and his dice will betray him, and that's just the way it works. So I know Justin's gonna take this from him, and he'll just rage out, and then he'll have a good time like he normally does. All right. So I think that wraps up for tonight. If unless anybody has any last remarks for tonight, I'm gonna go ahead and call it.
Real quick, just sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. We had a local fire take out a lot of internet service. We mixed that with the fact that, and this was my fault, I didn't realize YouTube had changed the way that they live streamed. So I'd done this a couple months ago, and it was very different than the way that it is now. But that's okay. I just apologize for the convenience, and thanks, Pat, for picking up the slack.
Yeah, absolutely. We were able to get over that, and we picked up the slack pretty quickly, which was awesome. So we all got back in it. Anybody else have anything they need to add before we wrap it up? I'll go ahead and say that the next one is on Tuesday night, the 10th of September at 8 p.m. Central Time. And then we will do the remaining tables. And if we have any last minute signups, which I actually had one late today, I will get them tossed in there as well. I'm still getting things squared away. But see you guys Tuesday night at 8 Central then. And I think that's it. Have a good evening.
All right.
Thanks for joining us.
Later, everybody.
Later, everybody.